In war, there's a moment where everything changes. It's not the moment you get shot. It's not the moment you kill someone. It's the moment you realize that the only thing standing between you and death is the person standing next to you. And if you can't trust them, you're already dead. This is the story of what happens when you stop being individuals and start being a unit. This is about how men survive the impossible by choosing to believe in each other when believing in anything else is impossible. Picture this. You're in a patrol base in the middle of nowhere. It's your squad. 7 guys. That's it. You, 7 other men, and thousands of enemy soldiers who want you dead. You've been together for 3 months now. 3 months of sleeping in the same dirt, eating the same terrible food, fighting the same invisible enemy. By now, you're not just soldiers anymore. You're brothers. You have to be. Because if you're not, you won't survive what's coming. The thing about Vietnam that nobody talks about is how alone you feel even when you're surrounded by people. The jungle is so dense that you can't see more than 15 feet in any direction. Your patrol is spread out in a line through the trees, and the guys behind you and in front of you are just silhouettes in the green. You can't see them. You can only hear them if they move. And if they move wrong, they die. If you move wrong, you die. It's that simple.
One night, you're on guard duty. It's 2 in the morning. The jungle sounds are different at night. Insects making noise, things moving in the darkness that you can't identify. Your eyes are playing tricks on you. Shadows look like soldiers. Every sound could be enemy movement, or just an animal, or just the jungle settling. You're straining to see into the darkness, trying to make sense of what's out there. Your rifle is in your hands. Your finger is on the trigger guard, ready to move to the trigger if you need to shoot. Then you hear something that makes your blood go cold. A sound that doesn't belong. Movement. Close. Maybe 20 yards away. Your heart starts pounding so hard you think everyone in the camp must be able to hear it. You have to make a choice right now. Do you fire? Do you yell out a warning? Do you wait? If you fire and it's just an animal, you've just given away the position of your entire camp. Enemy soldiers will know exactly where you are. But if you don't fire and it's an enemy soldier, you're about to get everyone killed. You make a click sound. It's the signal. It means alert. Someone's out there. Within seconds, the rest of your squad is awake and ready. They don't question it. They don't ask if you're sure. They just move into defensive positions because they trust you. They trust that you saw something real. They trust that you're not panicking. They trust that your instinct is keeping them alive. Nothing happens. The movement stops. Whatever it was, it's gone. Or it retreated. But here's what matters. Those guys trusted you enough to put their lives on the line based on your judgment. And you trusted yourself enough to make that call. That's the kind of trust we're talking about, not the comfortable kind. The kind where you're betting people's lives on your decision. As days turn into weeks, you start noticing things about the people in your squad that civilians never notice about their friends. You notice who panics under fire. You notice who keeps their head. You notice who will stop and help someone who's struggling with their gear, even though it slows everyone down. You notice who complains and who just pushes through. You start knowing these guys better than you know your own family because you're seeing them at their worst and their best simultaneously. There's Rodriguez. He's a medic. He's seen combat before this deployment. He's got a scar on his chest from shrapnel. When things get hot, he doesn't freeze up. He moves toward the fighting, not away from it, because his job is to keep people alive. You've watched him work on wounded soldiers with his hands shaking from adrenaline, but his mind is completely focused. If you ever get wounded, you want Rodriguez coming for you. And the thing is, you don't have to say this out loud. Everyone in the squad just knows. We all know that Rodriguez is the guy who won't let us die if there's anything he can do about it. Then there's Thompson. He's the team leader. He's only been in the military 5 years, but he's got the kind of calm under pressure that you can't teach. When rounds are coming in, Thompson is the one calling out orders, making decisions, keeping everyone moving in the right direction. He's been hit twice, and both times he kept fighting until the threat was neutralized, and then he let the medic patch him up. Everyone in the squad would follow Thompson in the hell because we've already seen him walk toward danger when he could have walked away.
And then there's Jackson. He's the new guy. He got here 3 weeks ago. The first couple of patrols, he was terrified. Couldn't hide it. His hands were shaking. He was second-guessing every movement. But the squad didn't give up on him. Thompson took him under his wing. Rodriguez spent time with him, talking through situations, explaining how to stay calm. The rest of us looked out for him, made sure he wasn't put in positions that would get him killed before he was ready. And slowly, Jackson started finding his confidence. Now, when things get chaotic, Jackson is right there with us. We brought him along. We made him part of the unit, and he knows it. He owes us. We owe him. This is where the trust really matters. This is where the difference between surviving and dying comes down to whether the person next to you is willing to risk their life for you. You're on a patrol that goes wrong. That's what the guys who made it back say anyway. It went wrong. 3 hours into the patrol, you walk into an ambush. Automatic weapons fire comes at you from multiple directions. The jungle erupts. People are screaming. Someone's been hit. Actually, more than one person has been hit. The enemy has numbers on you. They've got better positions. They've got you pinned down in a kill zone. This is it. This is the moment where everything falls apart or holds together. Thompson is yelling orders, but you can barely hear him over the noise of the gunfire. Your ears are ringing. Everything is happening at once. Return fire is coming from your position, but you're not organized, you're desperate, and desperation gets people killed. You need to move. You need to get out of this kill zone. But moving means crossing open ground, where the enemy can see you. Moving means people are gonna die.
Then Thompson is there. He's moving down the line, touching each person on the shoulder, pointing them toward a tree line. We're getting out of here, now. You look at Rodriguez and he's already moving a wounded soldier. The wounded soldier is one of the new guys, barely 16 years old when he enlisted, and he can't move on his own. Rodriguez could leave him, Rodriguez could save himself, but he doesn't. He picks the kid up and he moves, and 3 other guys move with him, covering his retreat with suppressing fire. You're covering Jackson's movement when you see Thompson go down, actually fall. He's been hit in the leg. He's trying to keep moving, but he can't. And he's still yelling at people to get back, still trying to organize the retreat, even though he's bleeding out. That's when Jackson does something that changes everything. Jackson breaks from cover. He runs back toward Thompson while rounds are snapping past his head. He's got nothing but a rifle and a grenade, and he's running back into the fire to get Thompson. You think he's gonna die. You're sure he's gonna die. There's no way he makes it back alive. But he does.
He gets Thompson and he's dragging him backward toward cover, toward the tree line, and he's laying down fire with one hand while he's dragging with the other. And in that moment, something clicks. You understand that Jackson isn't just trying to save Thompson. He's proving something. He's proving that he belongs. He's proving that he's not just part of this unit, he's truly part of this unit. And the fact that he'd risk his life to prove it means everything. Everyone makes it back. Not everyone makes it back without wounds, but everyone survives that day. Thompson gets evacuated. His leg is messed up bad. They say he's going to be okay, but his combat days are probably over. Jackson has a graze wound on his arm, but it's barely bleeding. He's walking it off like it's nothing. The new kid is going to be fine. Rodriguez stitched him up, and he's already joking about his war story.
But something's different now. The trust has deepened. It's moved from intellectual to visceral. You've all risked your lives for each other, and you know now that you do it again. You do it tomorrow. You do it every single day for the rest of this deployment, because that's what brothers do. There's a saying that gets passed around among the guys. You probably hear it for the first time during training, but you don't really understand it until you've been in combat. The saying is this: I will never leave a fallen comrade. That's not just words. That's a contract. That's a promise that you literally risk your own life rather than leave someone behind. And when you're out there in the jungle, when things are falling apart, when you're scared out of your mind, that contract is the only thing that keeps you from completely breaking down. It means that no matter how bad things get, you're not alone. Someone's got your back. Weeks pass, months pass. You lose 2 more guys from your squad. One gets medevaced with a serious infection that he got from a wound. The other one steps on a mine and dies on the way to the hospital. Both losses hit the squad hard, but the trust between you doesn't break. It just gets stronger, because now you're all connected by something darker. You've all lost someone. You've all watched a friend or a brother die or get hurt so badly that you're not sure you'll ever see them alive again. The replacement soldiers who arrive don't understand this at first. They come in with their gear and their training and their fear. They don't understand why the squad moves the way it does, why certain decisions are made, why certain protocols are followed so strictly. And then something happens. Maybe they get pinned down in fire. Maybe someone covers them when they freeze up. Maybe someone shares their last cigarette or their last bit of food when times are hard. And gradually, they get it. They understand that this unit isn't just military structure. It's family. It's survival. It's knowing that the person next to you values your life as much as their own.
The thing about trust in a combat situation is that it's absolute. There's no gray area. Either you trust someone or you don't. And if you don't, you're gonna die. Because hesitation gets people killed. Doubt gets people killed. The only way to survive is to move as one unit. To know that everyone is thinking the same way. Everyone is committed to the same goal, bringing everyone home alive. You start noticing things changing in yourself, too. You're not the same person you were a year ago. You're harder, you're faster, you're more aware. You sleep lighter. You notice sounds that other people wouldn't hear. You can read situations before they turn bad. And a lot of that comes from the trust in your squad. Because when you trust the people around you, you're able to focus on the mission instead of worrying about whether someone's got your back. You know they do. It's not even a question. By the time you're close to rotating out, close to finishing your year and going home, you've lived more intensely with these men than you've ever lived with anyone in your life. You've bled together, you've cried together, you've killed together, you've survived together. And you know that no matter where you go or what you do after this, no matter how much time passes, these bombs are forever.
These guys are your brothers for life. The hard part comes when you realize that some of them aren't going home. Some of them are staying in those graves in the jungle. Some of them are going home broken, physically or mentally or both. Some of them are gonna spend the rest of their lives trying to function while carrying the weight of what they witnessed. And you're gonna carry that weight too, because you were there, you were part of it, you lived it.
On your last day at the base, you sit with Jackson and Rodriguez and a couple of the other guys. You don't say much. There's not much to say. You shake hands, you hug, you exchange addresses, and you promise to keep in touch. And y'all know that keeping in touch is gonna be hard, because explaining what you went through to someone who wasn't there is almost impossible. But you're gonna try anyway, because that's what brothers do. The trust that kept you alive in Vietnam didn't end when you got on that plane to go home. It transformed. It became something different, but it's still there. It's the reason why, years later, if one of your squad mates calls you in the middle of the night because they're having a rough time, you answer. It's the reason why you show up to funerals of guys you haven't seen in decades. It's the reason why, when you run into someone from your old unit, it feels like no time has passed at all. So when I say trust your brother or die alone, I don't just mean in a literal combat situation. I mean that the only way to survive war, the only way to survive most things really, is to connect with other people at a level that matters. It's to be willing to be vulnerable. It's to be willing to depend on someone else. It's to believe in someone so completely that you'd bet your life on them. The soldiers who made it out of Vietnam alive didn't survive because they were the strongest or the toughest or the smartest. They survived because they had brothers. They had people who wouldn't let them die alone. And they carried that knowledge with them for the rest of their lives. That was the real war story. Not the battles, the bonds, the trust. The brotherhood that kept them human when everything else was trying to destroy their humanity. If you want to hear from the actual veterans about the bonds they formed and how those bonds saved their lives, watch the next video where they tell their stories themselves.